You probably want to know what to budget for if you're thinking about buying a home. So here are the 5 things that everybody needs to know when they're getting ready to buy a house and when those things are due. So the first thing, in order time-wise, that you'll need to think about and need to budget for is a good faith deposit, otherwise known as earnest money. Typically in this area, 1% is a normal amount for you to have to come up with to put down towards the house. It's held in a middleman escrow account, and that is showing that you're very serious about buying the house to the seller. You can break that up into payments. There's a way to do that we can negotiate up front in the contract. It's called a promissory note. It would mean you'd have to put part of that money down right away and then the other part at a later date. But just know, in general, 1% of whatever your purchase price is what your deposit's going to be. So the second thing you're going to want to plan for is an inspection. And that is basically that inspector getting his paycheck after he performs his inspection or her inspection. So that typically ranges between $400 and $1,000. On a rare occasion, you may opt out of an inspection. It's not something I usually recommend. So I tell all of my clients, expect this up front. It is something that is a cost. It doesn't get rolled in anywhere else. It has to be paid out of pocket. So number 3 is the appraisal. This one may come out of pocket at this stage of the game. The lender may require you to put an upfront deposit down on your appraisal. So that's the person that goes out, does a valuation for the bank to know that the value is there on the home that you're buying. So sometimes that goes to the end as a part of your closing costs. We'll get to that at the very end. But half the time, or about 30% of the time, they may expect you to pay it at this point, or at least part of it up front. So just know you may have a deposit at this point somewhere around $500, $600, $700, maybe even up to $1,000 if it's a bigger property. But that's something you'll want to budget for as number 3. So number 4, in order, this one's a big one. This one is due at the very end, along with number 5. Your closing costs. We'll get to that one next. But number 4 is your down payment. So you should have worked this out with your lender well ahead of time. You should know your loan program. Are you going 0 down on this loan? Are you going 10% down on this loan? Some people put more down, some people put less down. Of course, that's going to affect how much your monthly payment's going to be and all kinds of other costs associated with your loan. So know how much your down payment is and have that ready to go by the time you get to the end of the process. So lastly, number 5, again, I mentioned 4 and 5 happen at the same time. It's all at the very end, so that'll be combined into one big chunk. But the last thing you need to know about is your closing costs. How much did it cost for you to finance the money, assuming you are going to finance the money? So that would be your loan costs mixed in with your title and your escrow fees, all at the very end. So typically that's around 2.5%. It could be a little different depending on what program you have and what those fees are with the bank you choose to use, but that's a great number to estimate yourself for. And at the end, they're all due. You'll get a call with a total amount. So we've talked quite a bit here about the when things are due and how much might be due, the 5 things that you need to know when you're getting ready to buy a home. The how is, have you been in touch with a lender? Do you have a lender that you can really trust? So if you don't know one or haven't gotten in touch with one that you really like yet, click on the link and that'll take you directly to somebody that can help you through this process. As always, if any questions come up about these things, anything we've talked about here, feel free to reach out directly.